Welcome back to another edition of the Millennial Gems podcast. It is your host, KILLA, and you already know who pulls up next door, SITCHY. What's going on, my guy?
What's going on, man? How's everything going, dog?
You know, it's another day to be great. More money to be
No,
made.
another day, another dollar, another opportunity. Let's get to it.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Y'all know how this works. We don't waste no time. We get right into it. So, today I wanted to get into something I think, it's constantly probably talked about. And, I've never actually been able to kind of share my opinion on this because I feel like it's kind of gone back and forth over the years. But work-life balance. I feel like it always comes up. Everybody's got, their opinion on whether they feel there is work-life balance or, is there such thing as work-life balance? So that's the question at hand. Is there a such thing as work-life balance?
Absolutely. There's definitely a such thing as work-life balance because I mean, you gotta think about it. Everything in life is a balance, literally. But obviously you're gonna have to work, and you're gonna have to have your lifestyle as well to kind of enhance or whatever the case, however you want to look at it for your work. Because if you're just working all day and you don't have anything just for like any time for just your life, you're gonna just be you're literally a robot. You gotta have that time to balance out, like just for me, for Sundays is my rebuilding days and my planning days. You gotta have some time to yourself to plan for the week. You gotta have time to just reboot yourself. If you just have a work, there's never gonna be any time for you to really sit down and evaluate and reflect on things that can you can get better at. Looking at some things you can stop doing that'll help you overall with your overall health, lifestyle in general. But you gotta have that balance just to balance out the good, balance out the bad, balance out, your family time. Everybody gotta have some type of balance between your work time and then your personal life, because like I said, without no balance within yourself, you'll just be a robot. Like you gotta have some type of space between your workflow and your personal life just to, I guess balance out the perspective on life as well. What's your thoughts on that?
You see, so I feel like at first I did believe that there's work-life balance, but as I get older and as I'm exploring and getting deeper into this entrepreneurial game, I'm starting to realize that I don't think there is much work-life balance. I don't think that you can really have a balanced life when you're really trying to go after the things that you want. I think is if you're if you're an employee, if you're cool, like just being the 9 to 5, again, nothing wrong with that. If you're cool just being the employee for the entirety of your life, then yeah, I believe that you probably can pull off work life balance. However, for people like us who are entrepreneurs, aspiring business owners and stuff like that, I don't think we get the luxury of work life balance because one, in order to get to our goals, we have to grind it out. I'm not saying we have to kill ourselves, but like, doing the work. But it's just like we have to make those sacrifices. We have to say no to a lot of shit in order to get where we gotta go. I literally told my mother what 20 going into 2024, going into this year. I was like, listen, I am trying to build something. I kept it like 100. I kept it 100 with her. I was just like, I am trying to build something here. So I'm not taking any personal trips at all. There are no personal trips that I'm going to fit in for this year. Every time that I went like travel this year, which was really just to Atlanta for Podcast Summit, that was something of purpose. That was something that I needed to do. That's something I'm going to write off. That wasn't a personal trip. But I said I wasn't taking any personal trips. I'm not doing any cruises or nothing like that. I'm not doing any family vacations. I'm doing nothing like that because I am all in on trying to build this lifestyle that I'm seeking. and I can't. Well, let me not just say can't, because can't should not be in anybody's vocabulary. But in order for me to get there, I need to lock all the way in. I'm gonna have to say no to, my boys' parties and stuff. My boys when they want to go out and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to say no to some of these dates. I'm gonna have to say no to, events and family outings and invitations and stuff like that. I have to say no to that stuff because I'm really starting to understand. Like, yeah, if I really want the the freedom, the time freedom that I've been so seeking for the last 4 years, I have to do everything in my power to utilize every single minute of my day, making sure that I'm being intentional with all of my decisions and everything that I'm doing that's going to help push me toward that goal. So if I have to spend majority of my weeks and my days and months like focusing on the podcast stuff, focusing on my new side hustle here, like I'm gonna do what I have to do, and I'm gonna say no. Um, that's just what I'm starting to believe now. I just don't think that as entrepreneurs and business owners that you can find work-life balance, especially now where I'm and yourself, we're kind of in like that early stage. I mean, I don't have kids, so I most definitely I can do that. Like I can go all the way in because I don't have anybody else that I need to look out for. It's just me. So I feel like I can't have that. I don't have work life balance right now because it just like I need to do everything that I need to do. I still have I have self care. I do my self care and stuff like that. Like I still train my body, I still train my mind. Um, get my massages, meditate, stuff like that. But stuff that's just to help with just like mental clarity and just making sure that I feel physically good. But after that, I've got to lock in on the work, and there's work to be done, and that work it can't stop until I have reached that goal. And even when I feel like I've reached the goal, there's still more that needs to be done. Because nothing in your business is always going to be perfect. There's something that I've learned from David Shands is something in your business is always going to be broken. Even when you think you fixed it, something else is going to end up broken somehow. So as far as just answering the question, is there work-life balance? I guess as an entrepreneur and business owners, I don't think there is.
I feel you.
Believe it is.
I feel you saying on that. I feel like there's there's an argument to that because even with you saying like so if we just work, grind it out, you have to have at some point you have to recover your body to prepare for the next day. You have to recover your mind and recover for the next day. Just like you mentioned, the massages, the like the mental day you were saying about just to recover, reboot, that still has some type of balance to your life, whether it's an unbalance or a 50-50. There's still some type of like recovery you have to do to balance out the work you're putting in. It may not be 100 50-50 on the scale, but there's still some type of time where you have to take to yourself, just like you mentioned, to get a massage or have the the rest days, or the get your proper rest and shit like that. Because like I said, if you just keep going, you're turning into a robot, and eventually you're gonna crash out. You have to, and I think honestly, it really depends on what you're doing. So I know you mentioned like the trips and stuff like that, but if you're a content creator and you know how to create content while on those trips, then that's intentional content right there. Like for me being a YouTuber, content. The way I look at things now, if I can't create any content with this piece of whether it's I'm doing like a family thing or whatever it can be, then I understand what you're saying on that about missing out on making sacrifices. But you can use those things to the advantage based off of what you're here to do for as far as your business. If your business is based around content, then you could definitely maximize this content, these trips. Not saying to obviously take random trips just randomly like that, but if you're gonna take a trip, like a mental trip, like a weekend trip, that's content right there. You talking about why it's important to take a mental trip to to balance out your life, because if you just keep going and going and going, you have no time to reboot. Nobody can go 1,000 miles per hour for the rest of their life. Somebody at some point in time, you have to calm down, rejuvenate, and get back to it. Like even the top athletes, they can't just go and go and go. They can go for a good amount of time. But you still need recovery time. You need the time to, get your Gatorade breaks in. Like there's still some type of balance between the work you're doing and then your personal life. Because if not, sooner or later you're gonna crash out by default. But you might think you can keep going, but nobody can ever just go. So whether the balance is 50-50 or 20-80 or 60-40, there's some type of balance between the work life and your personal life just to help you get through that. Like, if that makes sense. So I feel like I feel what you're saying or everything you're saying, but I feel like there's still some part to having some type of balance, whether it's an unbalance or like it doesn't.
But that's just it. But that's the point like I'm making there. Like,
so it's like an equal balance.
If it's like that's why I think of like work-life balance. I think of you can balance work here and you can balance the shit that's going on in your life. And I don't believe that when you're trying to go after a certain lifestyle, that's not gonna it's not gonna balance out like that. It's going to be fairly one-sided.
So so it can still be one-sided, but I think my main thing I'm trying to get at is that whether it's one side weighs more than the other, there's still some type of personal space to or personal balance within your life, or maybe you call it a personal unbalance to your life, your lifestyle, to talk about the two, the work life and then personal life. Like it could, like I said, it could be a 20-80, but there's still that 20 still plays effective part of your life that needs to happen at some point throughout the week, the month, the days. That 20% is still just as important as the 80 that you're putting in.
Which that's fair, because I just think of the late Kobe Bryant and stuff like that. We see how that man works. Like I don't know if you've seen that video, like how out his day of when he gets up at 3 o'clock, works out from 4 to 6, come home, rest 6 to 8, back at it again 8 to 10, come home and rest, back at it again 11 to 1, come home and rest, back at it again 2 to 4. And like how much more training he done got in that day just by starting at 3 o'clock or getting up at 3 o'clock. And that's just what I'm thinking. Like it's just like, yeah, you are taking those rest periods throughout the day, but the fact is that he's so driven to be great that he's understanding that I'm sure most people who have kids or who are trying to be great, they're missing out on games. These basketball players that have families, they're always constantly traveling. So they're going to be missing if they have, their kids like first words or, missing like out on like when they first take their first step or something like that. Like, they're missing out on this kind of shit. It's possibility that you're going to miss out on this kind of stuff. Yeah. So like that, I guess that's just where I'm kind of getting at with like, my point of view on like work-life balance. It's just the fact that I don't think there's ever a 50-50 thing with that. I mean, unless, like I said, unless you're true, like maybe this only applies to, I guess maybe like people who are just cool with the employee lifestyle. You can probably find work-life balance, I guess, but is it even still work-life balance? Because we work 5 days a week and then you're only free for 2 days out of the week, and most people aren't building on those 2 days on those days off. Chances are they're doing something to help get away from that lifestyle, and it's just like I get that it could be like I still don't think it's like I guess if you want to look at it as like an equal balance, I guess, but like I think that's only like it could only apply to employees. I don't think it can apply to entrepreneurs and business owners like that, unless you're like truly, like successful. You got like all like the time freedom that you need.
Yeah, so that's why when we talk about this, we gotta look at the individual as well. So we gotta look at the individual for one, and then also like we gotta remember this as well. Everybody's body is not built like for example like a Kobe Bryant. Everybody's body could not even withhold that because some people's bodies, some people are dealing with, some people have underlying health issues that can't even allow you to do that. Some people can't recover as good as Kobe could when, even through all the treatment he did. Like it's just that is like a one, like there's a that 1 percentile of people that can do certain things like that. So when we talk
But that's
about,
more of a that was that's but we all know that's just a mental thing, bro. Like, come on, we both athletes. Like,
it definitely
we
is,
all know it's a mental athlete. Like physically, yeah, we don't know physically this physicalities, things that we can't do. But we all know even if you are physically handicapped, if you're mentally locked in there, you're gonna find a way around it. Mamba mentality, we both know it's just like there's no excuse. You're gonna get it
no,
done
you're right.
regardless of whatever the handicap is.
No, you're right. I felt more. I think more. So I'm thinking a little more, beneath the sur. I mean, under the surface with things now, considering what's been going on with people's health and hearing about these different kids and teens and college athletes dying on the court just on some random shit now, and not even knowing, having underlying health issues, from overworking themselves or just a whole bunch of random shit, but it's just a whole bunch of shit you've been hearing lately about random things of really just came down to your body being overworked and not proper recovery, not proper this, not proper nutrition. Like a lot of things, like when we look at things of people doing things like having that, that constant on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go. At some point, it's that wear and tear, bro. The wear and tear, no matter how strong or whatever the case may be, however you want to look at it, is at some point you gotta find that balance, that unbalanced balance to balance out how the rest of your daily life's gonna be.
But that's just it, my guy. Like, is there truly a work-life balance?
Not a full.
I don't think it's a
balance.
I don't think it's a 50-50 thing. It's gonna be
It's definitely
part.
not a
It's gonna be a little. It's gonna be slanted.
That's what I'm agreeing to. It's
I
definitely
don't
gonna.
think it's gonna be. I don't
It's
think
not
it's
gonna,
50-50. Like,
yeah,
you
it's not. It's
literally are
not.
always
It's
going to be doing more work
more than, yeah.
than anything.
Right. It's definitely not 50-50 for sure. I'm more so agreeing that it's a unbalanced, not 100%. It's not a 50-50 balance, but it's a balance, but it's unbalanced. I guess into that perspective on that. It's definitely not going to be a 50-50 because what you're doing, people don't realize when you go from being an employee to an entrepreneur, you're actually working a lot more than you would be.
Like, there's literally
you're working a lot more.
there is no balance there. There's
You're
none of
working a
that.
lot more. There's a
None
lot
of
more things
that.
you have to do. There's a lot more things you have to figure out. A lot more mistakes you have to make, unless you your money's up and you're paying for these mentorships early on to have a mentor. But 9 times out of 10, starting off, you don't have that type of money to have a mentor off the rip. So you're already off things. There's a lot of mistakes that's gonna happen that you have to learn from to better yourself off. Like it's just self experiences that you have to go through that you don't necessarily have to do at work because you have a what do you call it, a staff member or somebody to to help you out with something. But if I'm being a fucking clothing brand owner, I can't go to no fucking regular job and ask about what certain things I can do. I gotta be in a community for one, or I gotta do my research. But even with that, it's still more time things. It's more time consuming that you have to do, or you have to take up your time to do versus working in a regular work field as an employee. So off the rep, as an entrepreneur, you're definitely working a lot more than you would be as a employee off the rip. It's just something you got to love because a lot of the things that the time that's going in is really you learning things, but you got to enjoy the process so it don't really feel like it's like work. It's really you're gaining knowledge to benefit your business versus being an employee and you just told you have a schedule of what to do. Your boss is not telling the other 10 might be there, or you can text or call them to ask if there's any clarification, or you have another staff that's a higher level to that you can refer back to if there's any questions. So you're never really asked out. But as an entrepreneur, you could be asked out if you don't do the right things, because no one's forcing you to do this. No one's telling you when to wake up. No one's telling you when to work on your shit. It's all within you. So all of that's already that's a big thing that people don't look at. But when you enjoy it, you take all that shit in. You mean it's all work is good work. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Like so, like I was just and like that's what I'm saying. Like I think if you choose, like if you're the employee, being an employee, it's a lot easier than obviously exploring the journeymanship of entrepreneurship. Way easier.
It's not for the weak.
Easier.
It's not for the
way
weak.
Easier. But that's what I mean, like the work-life balance. Once you step into this lane here, it just that work-life balance shit is out the window.
Yeah,
it's out the window. Like that is no longer going to exist, because it's like you have to be 100% in.
Nobody's coming to save you.
Exactly. That's the lifestyle you're choosing. That you have to be all the way in.
Yeah, you have to make a lot more sense.
I'm still, obviously I'm still an employee, but even when I come home, yeah, exactly. Like we're both employees, but when we come home, it's not, oh yeah, I'm just coming home to relax. No,
bro, I
shower, my 5 to 9. Now I work 7 to 3. I come home and I shower, and now what happens from 4 to maybe 5? I maybe shower, eat dinner, and then from 5 to probably 9, 10 o'clock, I'm locked in on now my side hustle. I'm working on me,
bro.
I'm working on trying to create my lifestyle now.
I'm telling you,
it's just like, where's that work-life balance gonna come in? Because it's like, yeah, I'm taking those breaks and those stints to, breathe and read and stretch like that. Like I said, that stuff is just to help kind of just, resuscitate the body and kind of, or just prepare depending on what time of day you're doing it for. But, or if you're just doing it as to like relax and stuff like that. But work-life balance, there is none of that, especially with what we're doing. If you are an employee, if you're not trying to explore the entrepreneurship game, which is totally fine, and I'm gonna keep reiterating that, it is totally fine. You don't have to. The lifestyle is so much easier as an employee. We all know that. Like now, like I very much cherish the idea of just being an employee the rest of my life, because there's not that much work to do. But the minute you want to step into this lane here of building something your own from the ground up, yeah, you can kiss that work-life balance shit goodbye. For now, at least.
That's what I'm saying. I can't remember the last time I was able to just come home and just not do nothing the whole day. Even if I was to do some shit, even if I was sick and I couldn't do that, I still feel like some type of guilt. Like I should have been doing this. I could have been doing this. Like I haven't, but you know how many times I come home and I want to just go to sleep and lay down, but then I think about it. I said, damn, if I go to sleep right now, I wake up at 7 or 8. How much work could I have got done within that time that I can't get back? And when you think about that shit, bro, let's get to work, man. No more speed. Like, yo, you can't wait. And that's the thing. Everything matters. Like everything. For me, being an entrepreneur, like being a clothing brand owner, if I'm trying to get sales and I don't have inventory on me, I'm already losing money at that point. I can be out somewhere and someone might see one of my pieces of, merchandise on and might ask me about it. That happens all the time. And they might say, "Oh, how can I purchase one?" If I don't have nothing in the car with me right then and there, I lost money. Potential money that could be going. And these are the things that I'm learning, even to this day. Like that's one of my biggest goals right now, is making sure I got inventory. Like even looking on my to-do list. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, let me fix the camera for y'all real quick. What that said right there? Keep merch on you at all times. Oh, is it flipped?
No. I can read it left to right. It's perfect.
Okay, yeah. Keep merch on you at all times. You know what I'm saying? I'm just you know what I'm saying? This is before. Get the website done ASAP. I already got that done. But the main thing now is keeping merch on me at all times. Big goal, bro. I'm telling you, dog. It's not. Let me fix the camera for y'all real quick. It's not for the weak. Sorry for the little delay, but I had to get that out there for y'all real quick because
Facts. Like that's what I have like on my vision board. Y'all can probably see it there in the background there, the wall. That's my vision board. Even though you guys probably can't really see it too well, but in case you can see that picture on the bottom there, that's a picture of a Range Rover. Because that's literally the one.
hold
That's
up, yo,
the one material thing that I am literally itching to get. That is
yo,
the only real material thing that I am literally itching in my life to get is a Range Rover.
that's
Everything
crazy,
else
bro.
is everything else.
Yo,
Whatever. But the Range
yo,
Rover is the one thing that I want.
yo, that's bro. I gotta be a Taurus thing, bro. Cause I got a whiteboard. I got a whiteboard in the other room, bro, with a picture of a Range Rover.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's my dream car. That's my dream car, bro.
Exactly. Like that car.
On my other whiteboard, and I got the price down, how much it costs, and all that. But it's just a reminder. Let me know, like, if this is what you want, you got to work for it. And once you see certain things, you can't unsee it anymore.
Oh yeah, bro. Last year, when I was going to these car dealerships, I went and sat in the Range Rover just to get a feel for how it. I went into Lambo and sat in the Lambo just to see how that felt. I went into Ferrari just to see how the Ferrari felt.
Yeah.
I went into all these shops just so I could just feel what is it like to be behind this and what would it be like to own this. And I remember when I went into the Range Rover, I was telling the guy, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna own one of these one day. He was like, yeah, just start saving. I'm like, bro, I'm way ahead of it already.
Because you know why? Because they think you're a regular employee. They think you just working at a regular job, just trying to save up. They don't know. They don't know. But when you pull up, pull up with that shit cashed out.
And I'm saying that like literally, I know what the asking price is for a Range Rover, and like the fact is like I'm not looking. I don't need to look at the price again because I'm gonna go in there with probably more than probably at what's being asked of it because whoever's gonna do the deal with me is gonna get that extra commission there. So I already know the number's already up here. So now it's just a matter of can I generate that and have enough money to get that at some point. Because that mean also I could get that in the business too, and like that I could write that off as a another write off.
That could be.
I'm pretty sure that's definitely I think is pretty sure is a 6,000 pound vehicle for sure. But again, like that's my goal. That's been on my board for roughly 3 years. That Range Rover's been there 3 years. That Range Rover has been on my board for 3 years. I have not changed that picture. Although I have a bunch of different words and phrases on my board. And then right there in the corner, you guys can see like right there where my finger's pointing, that little white card, it's an index card. Again, for the last 4 years, well, I mean, I got the board in 2021, but on my board there, I put the words solve my customer's problem. Because that is the only thing I am focused on. That is the only thing that's going to get me to where I want to get to. That's the only thing that's going to give me the notoriety and make me great at something. I need to solve a customer's problem. That is the answer to literally all of my problems. Solve a customer problem. When I do that, then I know, okay, I've done what I've needed to do. And that's what I'm working on now. And so that is literally the goal. That is the number one goal. I read it every morning, solve my customer's problem. Everywhere I go.
That's exactly what, and even for me, bro, it's just like I said, we talked a little bit off camera about, 2025 and how we're preparing for it. And I've already been visualizing. I've been, writing things down because you have to start, like, preparation is everything for one.
Facts.
You can't go into 2025 thinking, okay, I'm going to have 2025 goals starting now. No, you have to start before.
Well, bro, like right now, as of like fourth quarter, like, we're 23 days into the fourth quarter. So yeah, you should have already been, you should already kind of have your first quarter planned out for
you should already have been thinking about quarter. Right, been thinking about what you want to do, how you want to do it, and plan how you're going to do it. Because you can sit up here and say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But if you don't have no plan to execute, You're gonna be doing laps around your mind. Anytime it comes in your mind, okay, I'll do it today. Comes around, I'll do another day, another day. But when you have that plan set up, okay, Monday. So I set my big goal, and let's see what Monday through Friday looks like. You write that Monday through Friday. Okay, I got to make sure I do this, do that, and make sure I do this amount. Make sure I do this, do that. Make sure I have this amount. When you can see it, you just follow that, and then you make plans. You structure that accordingly. Sometimes you may have stuff written out, but when you go to actually do it, you may have to rewire certain things and fix it.
I don't think as long no, I don't think anybody really
fine.
completes. I don't think anybody completes 100% of the things they have planned out. I think as long as I think I told you guys like on a previous episode, everything in my life is 80-20. So as long as I can complete 80% of the task I have planned for that day, I won the day. I most definitely won the day. I mean, I won the day when I woke up, but I can most definitely win the day if I can get 80% of everything that I had planned done and achieved.
Yeah. It's like, like at the end of the day, like I said, planning is so important. And I was told that a while ago when I was working about those jobs, but I was always the person that could keep shit in the head and just think back in the brain and just kind of go about things. And I'm still like that to this day. But what I'm realizing is even though I have that ability to do that, when I have things written down, when I refer back to them, not only am I able to complete that task, but I'm able to, get some more inspiration about doing other things within that. So like I create a actual what's the word? I'll have my information on paper, but then when I refer back to it, I'll get even more motivation to even do this even a different way or a better way, or having to create another idea to do something else better. So it's like having things written down when you refer back to it. Not only does it refresh your memory, but it also helps you just create the other things that could help within that thing you have written down as well. So the power of just having things written
I
out,
see what you mean.
yeah, like the power of having things written out. Not only does it refresh your brain, but it also is okay. What if I even did it this way? Or what if I did it even this way? Or what if I tried this out? And it just keeps your brain flowing. And obviously, with that, the more your brain's flowing, the more things you'll be able to think about or think to your head, or create something to follow through with a plan. So it's always going to be some type of like positive effect when you write things down and you refer back to it, because it's easier looking at things in your on paper versus trying to remember everything in your brain, because sometimes you'll skip a few things out. But when it's right then and there, you can't miss it. And the only thing you can do from that is do more. And that's what I'm learning. Like I said, I don't throughout my whole business, everything I know to this day, I've self-taught. It's constant mistakes, but also not only am I making the mistakes, with each mistake, I'm learning what not to do next time. So it's a constant trial and error. I'm watching videos. I'm in these live master classes, and I'm just trying to do a lot better. But things like, in order to get to the next level, you gotta limit as much of the petty distraction or setbacks, so they get to the next level. Because every year I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm happy where I'm at, but I'm not complete. Like I still want more. When I think about to where I first started off, when I first created those designs on my Cricut machine, the software, to where I'm at now, I mean, I'm definitely happy with my progress, because I'm definitely, I mean, it's a linear progress right now. We're going straight up, but I know that I can expedite that shit with an actual mentor. Having an actual investing in an actual mentor, like with anybody, it's gonna expedite your success.
I believe that for sure. I've been saying that for myself for like a long time, that I've been like needing to like invest in like either like a mentor or just get myself into um like a community or so. Like currently right now I'm still on my free trial. This is a shout out to David Shands. Morning meetup. That's free promo for y'all right there. Get into that group.
Oh, you in that joint? I be seeing on watch this podcast when I watch this podcast.
Yeah, so because I got a 6-month kind of like free trial with it, because I bought the ticket to podcast summit this past summer.
Mm.
So, and I think it was because one, he did like a raffle or so. So I won. I was one of the winners of the raffle. So that's what I was granted. 6 months free in the morning meetup. But yeah, essentially, it's just like a community where literally it's just like entrepreneurs, and it's just like I learned something. Like I may not be able to always get on the calls because it's at 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's tough for me to have my phone out and to be like working at the same time. But at least I can have like the replays and the playbacks, and I can watch them over, and I'm like I'm learning different things because it's literally just a community of just entrepreneurs who are literally just trying to, get their footing and just become great at their craft.
Right. It's
Like
all like-minded
it's a
people.
great community. Like it's lit. Yeah, exactly. Like it's like my community. So most definitely just getting a community, or just like I said, just having like paying a mentor. Like it's it's so essential to just kind of just get yourself surrounded with either people that are the same as you, because again you can bounce ideas off of, or just have somebody who's doing what you want to do and be able to kind of just I don't really like saying, well, I guess you can say pick their brain since you're paying them. Um, but yeah, pretty much just having somebody around who can help guide you in the uh in the pathway of what where you're trying to go,
Trying to go, yeah,
because they're
absolutely, bro.
doing what they're doing something you want to
At a higher
be able to
level,
do exactly at a high level.
they already been where you're at, and they can show you how to get to where that and go even further.
Exactly.
And
So
that's
yeah,
why
the power, yeah, for sure.
power of that,
Mentorships,
bro.
one-on-ones is for sure definitely the thing. But yeah, no, I might actually, because my trial is actually up next month, so I might just commit to like the $97 a month for it.
It's worth it,
Because
bro.
I'm like I'm like $97 a month. I get to be in a community with again like-minded entrepreneurs. Why not?
And when you're able to put that information that you learn from within that community, that $97 a month, nigga, you'll be able to make that shit back 1,000 times. It ain't nothing, bro. That's
And
why
it's
people
just a
got
matter of just like
so
not being
invested.
scared to invest in myself. Like that's just what that is. Like
Oh,
not people are gonna justify, oh, I can use that $97 for something else. Like if you watch his podcast, he literally says in the ad, there's a bunch of ways that you could spend $500. Well, why don't you just spend that $500 with me for a year? For that entire year, and I can help elevate you to where you want to be.
and you'll be able to make that $500 back within a month. So the rest of the time, it's everything's just profit. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, but that's the thing. When you don't have that open mind, we don't have that positive mind, we're not an optimistic, we don't have optimistic thoughts, you don't see that shit. And that's why the power of the mind, bro, and the power of how you think is so important. And it's so like it's a pivotal moment in your life, bro, because it's really going to determine whether or not you're successful or not, just from your mind. Because people could have it within them, but not even think it and lose out. But you can have it within you and then understand that and push through with that and sky high rocket with it, all with your mind. Because you don't. The thing with the mind is, bro, you can be broke right now, but if you have the mindset of being a go getter, and knowing that things are gonna work in your favor and you go after it, you'll get some. You'll start getting some money. You'll start getting
Yeah,
some money.
facts. Just
You
being
know
a
what I'm saying?
solutionary. Like shout
Yeah,
out to Maj Toure. Like he's definitely, if you guys don't know who Maj Toure is, 2A advocate, supporter. He refers to everybody in his community or anybody who does work who doesn't complain about shit as solutionaries. And that's just what that is. Like you don't complain about the shit that's happening. You understand that the life that you're living ain't it. Well, be a solutionary. Do something about it.
bro. And I'm glad you said that, because right.
I don't need to complain about shit anymore when I can just go find a solution to figure it out. Why bitch about it and complain about it on social media and then not do anything about it? Like
And you know what else?
that's kind of backwards, like so it's just like I mean I can go to social media and complain about it, but even if I tell social media about it, I'm gonna go and change the outcome of it anyway. But
And
it's
the
just
thing
like
about
some people
that,
will just go there, bring their problems to social media and just leave it there and just continue to bitch and moan about it and not do anything. And it's just
be
like,
stuck with their problems, right? And the thing
well,
about this, The thing about this is that same energy you use to go bitch about your problems or complain about your problems could be the same energy you use to go solve your problems. My biggest thing is this: in life, things are gonna happen that you have no control over, but you have control over how you respond and what you do after that. After those things happen to you, you can sit up and complain, or you can sit up and complain and find a solution to your problem and attack that. Sitting up and just complaining, only thing you're doing is wasting energy because you can't get the energy back that you've been complaining about, especially if you haven't put anything towards, finding a solution. That's for one. Two, you gotta understand that, like I said, things are gonna happen in life. It's not gonna always, you're not gonna always have control over how things happen, but how you respond will determine how whether or not you bounce back or not. And it's plain and simple. You're gonna get adversity is gonna happen. You're gonna get hit with adversity, but what are you gonna do when things are not going the way you expect them to go? You're gonna sit up and complain, or you're gonna find a solution.
I
And
think it's just honestly like just man. I think it's just most people like I look at life as kind of just like how stocks move. Like we all want to be going up and to the right. Like stay trying to stay in that green. But I mean, again, you want to be going up and to the right. I mean, you're gonna have your days where it's going to obviously come down. Like you're gonna have that dip. But even when the dip happens, that's when you're supposed to get in.
mm-hmm.
You buy the dip. When things is going downhill, that's where you're like, okay, that's the opportunity for me to figure out, all right, what's going wrong here? Or obviously, if we're talking in stock, in stocks and crypto and stuff like that, this is the perfect buying opportunity. How much lower can this drop? So that way now you can see that return on investment from when it was way down here, and then things start to look good again. You start seeing going back up into the right. So even if you are to take that dip, everything that goes down will go back up. Everything mm-hmm. goes up, it's got to come down at some point. Nothing stays, linear going up and to the right. It doesn't happen like that. We all know life doesn't happen like that. It has to take its dips. It has to have its peaks and its mountains. That's how life works.
Yep.
So I think it's just like some will just really just, see the dip or go through the dip and just not try to do anything to recover from it. They just accept it and just be like, oh yeah, nah, shit's up. Like it's over for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recover from this. And it's just like, nah, bruh, nah, sis, did you work through it? Like, did you analyze what actually happened here? Like, did you actually just try to really sit through this
mm-hmm.
and push through what's going on here? Like, if you had done that, you're gonna see where the problem lies. You're gonna be able to adjust and fix it. And then when things start taking off again, now you're gonna reach a new peak.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna reach a new high.
Yeah.
And when you reach that new high, yeah, you're gonna come back down again. And you're gonna take another dip. And you're gonna keep doing that, and you're gonna keep doing that. So the fact is just that, yeah, we just gotta just understand that, it's always gonna be a roller coaster. It's never going to be easy. You just have to have, like you said, the proper mindset in order to flourish.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is, bro.
That's all it is.
Like it's easier said than done, but you'd be surprised at how many people constantly, put themselves down when things are not going in their favor. But the power of the mind can bring you right out of that shit.
It can. Oh, all right. Well, so clearly talked about here like work-life balance. We know that it's either there's I personally, like I said, I don't believe there's work-life balance. I know we kind of talked a little bit about like our goal, or we did mention like goals for 2025. So what exactly, just to kind of just give for like what's one goal that you most definitely have for 2025? Like what is your what you got cooking up for next year?
Yeah, so my biggest goal for 2025 is obviously being in the best shape for one, mentally and physically with myself. I think so. I'm gonna answer. It's a few goals that kind of merge all together, but yeah, my first goal is really having that being in the best mental shape and physical shape that I can be in, because um the better I am at, the better I have, the mind of being able to creatively think constantly, the better I'll be able to apply that within my business. So, being in the best shape possible mentally and physically is going to allow me to be the best person I can ever be for myself and within my business. So that's for one. And then for two, is really just having a little more structure and um, having more things written down on paper with my ideas. So, like I mentioned earlier, so that when I go to visit these things, um, I can then execute a lot faster versus trying to retain all my stuff in my head, which I've been doing for the past 3 years. I mean, it's worked, but when you're thinking about how to do things a lot better and being a little more efficient, I think that
Your
having
brain's always working.
the
This
brain's
is
always working.
nothing.
But
So
when you have notes to refer back to, you can, like I said, you can obviously get that task done, but then think to yourself, maybe if I did this, it'll come out a little different. Or maybe if I even tried this, or maybe this might help for this. So basically, what I'm saying is, when I have things visually on hand in paper, when I go to refer back to it, it's going to be a lot easier to um, execute versus thinking to myself, "Dang, what did I think about last month? What was I planning on doing for this drop this time? How did I want to execute this out?" So, you know what I'm saying? So having that everything written down um is what I'm really gonna focus on, because even with my drops, being more strategic with everything, as far as just like putting my message out there a lot more, having people understand, because it's like I said, I probably mentioned this before in other podcasts, but it's cool to have different designs. People like liking for the art aspect of it, but it's a different ball game when you actually understand where this is coming from and the meaning behind it, because it's an emotional connection. It's a, like I said, it's a lifestyle. It's motivation. It's anything positive you could think of is what my brand's about, and I want to be able to have more videos, have more things to represent that, so that it's easy to understand where my message is coming from, so that when people actually put everything on it although it already makes sense now, to make it even more clear is to have it more the message more out there, have more like content within that, so having more content that kind of visually shows the meaning behind my brand, and just having that a little more visibly without all my social media pages. So just having that clarity, within the name, the meaning behind the brand, and displaying that a lot more on all platforms. Doing a little more storytelling. How I got from the club promoting to the clothing brand, so people understand. Because like I said, I'm doing a YouTube thing already. I'm still learning everything, trial and error with everything. But I know that for a fact, when people actually understand the person, the owner, where he's coming from, and how things came about, there's a better connection between the owner in the clothes that people, or the merchandise that people intend on buying. So that's why I just want to be a little more intentional with that, and making sure that all of my customers, or even just people that just want to check it out, understand what's going on, and just being a little more crystal clear with everything, and just being a little more intentional than what I'm already doing, being at.
Word. I would say for myself, real quick, I would say like my number one goal for next year is to definitely just emphasize that word no.
I gotta add that too.
You just like literally, like I normally have like a word for this year, and like this year's word was uncomfortable, which I don't think I've pushed too, I don't think I've gotten like really, I haven't found myself in a super uncomfortable situation yet this year. Like, I don't think I've done anything that's really made me like really uncomfortable. So I'm definitely gonna work on that again for sure. But definitely walking into 2025, just as like my word for like that year for the year is just like no.
Right.
If I'm literally only feeding into things that actually either make sense to me or going to provide some type of value to me. Because if it doesn't, no. I don't want to join. No.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go. No. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do this. No. I am not giving you that. No.
Mm-hmm.
No. That
Limit your
is
access.
literally,
Limit your access.
that is it. That's literally, that's my goal for next year is to make sure that I am truly understanding what do I want to give my time to. And
Mm.
if it's not going to be spent the way I want to, or if it's not going to be properly utilized, or I don't find value in whatever I'm doing, or people I'm hanging around,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, very simple. We all know no is a sentence.
Yeah.
It's a
Yo,
sentence.
nah,
So
bro, I definitely understand that, and I feel like for me, like everything, I feel like I'm on the right track already, but I just feel like having a little more emphasis on what I'm already doing
yep,
can make a big difference as well. So just like what you were saying about the no's, definitely be more okay with saying no to things, and just being a little more like I'm already everything I'm doing it has is within the intention, like it's a purpose behind something. And with me for now, even now, just being a little more intentional about every little thing I'm doing, like it just got to make sense.
yeah,
Things got to make sense. And it's just like cut off all the bullshit and just get super focused, bro. It's time to win. It's
exactly.
time to win.
No to nothing that isn't helping me elevate.
If I can't see a pro to it that could within myself that could help that benefit my health style, my lifestyle, or my business, no. What are we doing? What are you doing?
And that's gonna be very different from me because I either will one pump fake a lot or I will just kind of just start to give in after you kind of you know once you're able to kind of pause, back me down into the paint, and then I just let you get the bucket. And what I should have done was I should have fouled your ass.
Probably, yeah. But
And
that's the
instead
thing,
I should have
though,
made you go for
bro.
a hard foul. But instead it's just I let you tip. You done back. You done got me all the way back down in the paint now, and I let you do that.
But that's
I'm
the
like, no,
thing, though,
no, no,
bro.
no, no,
Especially
no.
when that's the thing. Especially when it comes to the close ones too. It's like they'll try to milk their way into getting you to do something. Although you could, it's like then they'll be like, "Well, you could have just said no, bro." But then when you do say no, then it's like, "What, bro? You know you can do this. Let's do it this one time. We ain't gonna be for that long." Da, 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 da.
You try to play victim to it, and they
Right,
try to make you
right.
feel bad for
Make you
saying
feel
no,
bad.
and like that's what I'm trying to get away from. Like I don't want to have to feel. I don't like feeling bad when I say no because I'm like I'm not. I've never been that way. Like I'm trying to help every goddamn body if I can.
Bro.
Like if
But
I can
that's
help
why
them, I
niggas be
want to
lying
help
now.
them.
That's why niggas
And
be
I'm like
lying.
I can't. I'm like
That's why everybody be
I
lying
gotta
now.
stop doing that. I
People be like,
literally
yo,
say no.
they be like, yo, you trying to pop out? They're like, oh no, I gotta go. I gotta get up early. I gotta do something. You might not even have to get up early. You just gotta stay because yo, that is gonna be a lot better for them to take in versus a straight no. Then nobody's taking a straight no from you, bro. Especially if they used to you doing certain things with them and you say no. Nobody's taking a straight no more, dog. You gotta
And
hit
the
them with the
fact is just like honestly, and I honestly, you don't owe anybody you don't owe anybody
don't.
an
You
explanation
don't.
for anything. Like
You
I
don't.
said, no, we all if you don't know, no is a sentence.
Right.
A woman, if you ask a woman for sex, you try to press her for sex, she says no. That's that.
Facts.
There's no why or come on. There's none of that. There's no.
Nah, but there's dudes that do be like that.
You keep pressing the matter, and it's just like literally like, and if you're gonna be the type to press the matter, then it already shows me that all right, I can already tell like where this relationship or where this friendship is gonna go.
Yeah.
Because the fact is you're not respecting my decision. You're not like if like no is no. If I say I don't
Especially
want
with
to go, that doesn't give you the right or the green light to try to convince me to do it.
Especially if they know
convince
what
me
you're
to make
doing.
me feel bad. No.
Especially if they know what you're doing and your goals are, bro. If they know that shit and they're still trying to get you out your element.
Oh, then you're just ignorant. And at that point, then it's just like we don't even need to be associated. Like if you already know what I'm trying to do and you're trying to talk me out of what I'm trying to do, then we don't even need to be associated. Period. Like we can just, it's up. Like we just let's just end this friendship now because it's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna. It won't continue on like that. I'm not gonna allow that. No is no. If you can't accept no, then all right, maybe then this friendship, maybe this here, just it ain't gonna work. It won't work. But all right, y'all. Make sure y'all do subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all subscribe to our subscribe to the podcast. Follow whatever you can listen to this podcast on any streaming platform, Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever podcast platform y'all listen to. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on IG, both of our pages. Both of my pages and then both of Sitchy's pages as well. We'll leave them linked down in the description. Mm-hmm. Leave us that review. Helps find us a lot easier, and it helps the podcast climb up the ranks. If you really enjoy this podcast, definitely give us those thumbs up. Any last words, Sitchy? We out of here.
As 2025 is approaching, make sure you set out your goals, make sure you set out a plan, and make sure you attack them. If the people around you are not supportive of what you're doing, don't be afraid to let them go. Because at the end of the day, if you're around 5 broke motherfuckers, who do you think is going to be the 6th one? If you're around 5 successful people, who do you think is going to be the 6th one? Life's about choices. Make sure you make the right choice, and don't feel bad for doing what you know is right for yourself. If they can't see that, they're not right for you. Go get a new circle or be by yourself, and that's perfectly fine, because when you're by yourself and you're doing the right things, you gravitate the right people towards you. Stay true to yourself. Let's get this money, man. 2025 is on the way. Let's get it.
Y'all heard it here. 2025 on the way. We are over and out.